Thank you for staying with us. It's a day now to the off-cycle governorship elections in Imo, Bayelsa and Kogi State, and last-minute preparations are in the works as residents of all the states gear up to cast their ballots. INEC and security agencies are also tightening up their acts to ensure a hitch-free process across the states tomorrow.
Ever since Nigeria gained independence, the electoral processes in the country have been marred with different forms of violence and malpractices. Kogi State is one of the states with a propensity for electoral violence based on historical evidence and the existing security situation. Nigeria's electoral umpires expressed concern over the growing level of violence capable of disenfranchising potential voters in the state. Here in Lokoja at the CBN headquarters, everyone is present at the inspection and monitoring of onward movement of sensitive materials to local government areas. INEC is also not leaving anything to chance.
So we are all set to go. We are ready. All the sensitive materials are here.
If you look at data, particularly from Kogi, over 90% of permanent voters cards have been collected. So what this means is the PVCs will determine who wins this election.
The 239 Form EC8B for World Results Collation sheet is being signed here by the State Resident Electoral Commissioner to ensure that the results are adequately collated.
We have 239 words, and I'm going to sign each of the result sheets for those words.
Present at the inspection of sensitive materials are representatives of political parties, security agencies. Habib Alawal, TVC News, Lokoja.
The process kicked off with the arrival of INEC officials and representatives of the different political parties. They were invited to the vaults of the CBN headquarters to inspect the sensitive materials, which they confirmed were intact. Thereafter, they were moved out of the vaults and arranged in order of the local government's areas. At the inspection and monitoring of the materials, some of the party agents insist that the results sheets are countersigned by the INEC National Commissioner and the Resident Electoral Commissioner.
I think so far, I feel that this exercise is good to be this way because it brings confidence to those who are going to be electing their candidates tomorrow.
So far, so good. Everything is being done transparently, and we are observing it ourselves.
So I must commend INEC and the security agencies for starting on time.
Again, INEC reiterated its commitment to ensure that a free, fair and credible electoral process is conducted at the November 11 poll.
Last batch, we have done with the non-sensitive materials before now. We have batched to PU level. Today, we came to CBN to inspect the non-sensitive material, the ballot papers and result sheets. So we went with the party agents inside the CBN room, checked all of them, and they were all sealed, and we asked them to bring them out. You can see the materials out. They're still bringing them out.
Recall that we released the timetable for this election about a year ago. And in the schedule of activities, we had 13 items. Out of the 13, we have implemented 11.
Sensitive materials have been moved to the 27 local government areas in the state, and the process has been adjudged smooth and transparent. It's hoped that this hitch-free process will continue at the Saturday polls. Abimbola Agbebi, TVC News, Owerri.
DIG Daniel Sukari Pedro takes the stand to inspect the Guard of Honor at the Police Command headquarters in Yenogua. After a short briefing with a fraction of the 27,000 officers about to be deployed to the 8 local governments for Saturday's election, the DIG goes into a meeting with representatives of the Bayelsa State Traditional Rulers Council, members of the Christian and Muslim community, election observers and senior officers of the police force. Raising security concerns from the 3 senatorial districts, the DIG acknowledged that the cycle of election every 4 years makes Bayelsa a volatile state, with Sagbama, Nimbi, Southern Ijo, Brass and Kulokuma-Okokuma, 5 of the 8 local governments considered flashpoints.
Assuring the peace-loving Bayelsans that in this election, not only the proxies will be dealt with, their identified sponsors will equally be dealt with. Take note.
In response to the DIG's riot act, The traditional rulers are expecting the peaceful electoral process. They say they will judge the police readiness after Saturday's election.
If you take a non-swimming police or a non-swimming soldier to want to go and see the Brass Ocean or Palm Ocean or Kulama Ocean for the first time.
On election day, senior officers will also be on patrol to ensure a compliance to the Electoral Act. Sarah Ayeku, TVC News, Yenagoa.
It's less than 48 hours to the commencement of the off-cycle elections in Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi states, and the military authorities say intelligence indicates there are plots to disrupt the process.
So much is being put in place. Troops, platforms are being moved to those locations to reinforce security that is already in place in those states.
Beyond the elections, the defense military chief says troops have killed 113 terrorists in the various theaters of operations.
The coordination between the air and ground forces is like never seen before and is yielding remarkable results and achievements.